Well, hello everybody and welcome back down to my allotment. Now, I'm starting off in the greenhouse today. I've got lots to do on the allotment this week. Sun is shining and I want to crack on with it. But the first thing I want to do, I have bought some young chili plants and they're going to need potting up. So that's the first thing I want to do. So these are the chili plants in question. Now, normally I try and grow all my plants from seed, but if you've heard the podcast, you will know I've had trouble with slugs and snails and whitefly this year that have pretty much decimated all my chilies, peppers and aubergines, which was a shame because we had a good loads of these plants in the waiting. Added to that, I also knocked over my shelf one night and we've ended up pretty much losing a lot of our chili peppers and so on. So I went to a garden centre and I bought one of these strips of 3 chili plants. It worked out about £1 a plant, which isn't too bad, but I think they've definitely gone up in price in recent years. Now all I'm doing is I'm putting these up into bigger pots. I think that's quite important with these particular plants, that these strips are not big enough and there's a good chance all the roots could get matted together if we leave them together for too long. Now the roots on these plants are actually pretty decent, I've got to say. I was quite impressed with the roots on these. Just goes to show that sometimes buying in plants can be worthwhile. Now I've put these up into bigger pots to give them a bit more room. They will stay inside this greenhouse for the time being, but hopefully they're going to go on to grow some good vegetables. Now I've got to say, these chili peppers aren't in too bad a nick, and what we do have here, I think they're going to grow on and become quite decent plants. We will get them into bigger pots as they grow and as time remains, but for now they're going to stay here on the allotment inside this greenhouse and hopefully they will become productive. So what I want to do next is try and tidy up the top part of the allotment. The bottom half, we've got it looking fairly good. It's fairly tidy now. I'm fairly happy with it. There's still areas that need improvement, don't get me wrong, but I think now it's time to really concentrate on the top half. So as you can see, this is the top half of the allotment. Definitely not looking as good as the bottom half, but one of the things that I think makes all the difference is just strimming and cutting the grass paths. And that's what I'm going to do first, and then we can see just how much of a transformation it makes. So there we go, 10 minutes of strimming, cutting the grass, and I think you can already see it's looking a lot better already. I think this is one of the key things when we have an allotment and people get weed notices from time to time. Sometimes just cutting the grass makes all the difference and it gives you an idea of where to start. So, and it becomes a bit more manageable. Now I don't, let me get my words out. Now I don't waste all those grass clippings. They are actually used as a mulch around my brassicas at the moment. So nothing gets wasted. But we have got an area just over here that I think we're going to concentrate on next. Right, so as already stated, this is the part of the allotment that is next in line for a bit of tidying up. These are bits of prunings that are no good for anything else. We will get those shredded in a moment and then we can compost those, but they're not really much use for anything else other than compost. But what we want to do is get rid of this old cold frame. That's a bit brittle. I bought this a few years ago as an idea for trying to harden off plants. It was only a cheap one, but really it is absolutely useless. So the metal snaps, so it's off to the tip with it. Alright, well that's out of the way now. So what I've got here, these are hazel sticks. These came when I coppiced my hazel tree, and these have been from past years. I use these for growing beans up. Trying to store them neat and tidy is a little bit of a tricky, but just over the back here I've got some fresh ones. We'll just lean them up there for the time being so we can see just what we've got going on in here. I gotta admit, I do like hazel sticks. I think they look better than bamboo canes. Plus, we grow hazel here on the allotment, so effectively they're on site, homegrown gardening. What's the compost like in here? Next question. Not brilliant, but not bad at the same time. Now what I'm going to do with all this, don't know why I threw that, I'm going to pop that down on one of our beds. Well, that has now got this area much tidier. Grass paths cut, which I think has made the allotment, or certainly the top half of the allotment, a lot more better looking and more appealing to the eye. And also it gives me now the chance that I can focus. From now on in, as long as I weed regularly and I cut the grass regularly, it don't take long to keep this allotment looked after. Just doing it regularly every day is all I will do. The biggest dilemmas I have is where to store my wheelbarrow and where to store my hazel sticks, but my hazel sticks are going to be used in not too long time, so I've got a bit of time to figure out what to do with those. In the meantime, I've run out of time, I've run out of batteries on my power tools as well, so it's time to pack up and go on home. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again next time.